Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. So today we're going to be doing some cleaning up and preparing for fall, because when fall rolls around it's going to be really nice to have some new colors in the garden, but it's also a good time to finish up any trimming that I need to get done before the temperatures cool off. It's one of the last times that we can do that this time of year, because if we cut it too late into the fall, then we start to see some new growth that gets produced by each of the plants as you cut them back. So we want to make sure to do it not too late in the season. And for me, we have our first frost date in the middle of October usually, so this is a great time to finish up those trimming jobs. My name is Soleil and I garden here in mid-Michigan, and we are in a zone 5B. Right now what we're going to start out with is trimming up these privet bushes. So these are the golden privet, and I think they're absolutely gorgeous. They are called golden vickery privet actually. They're a very fast growing shrub, and I think they bring a lot of warmth to this area and a nice glow. It's really important to have different colors of foliage within your garden, and that's what this brings to the garden. The small little flowers that they produce are fairly insignificant, but they do have a really nice scent to them. So what my goal is with these shrubs is I'm trying to create a backdrop for the seating area right here. And in doing that, what I need to do is continue to trim these shrubs to be able to shape them until they can grow together. Based on the size of these shrubs, they should be able to grow together between them, and then they will get quite tall if I let them. But my goal is simply to have them about 4 feet tall so that we have a nice backdrop again, but nothing too tall. I also want to create a curve just to emphasize the curve on this half garden bed. So let's see what we can do. So I lucked out. I was actually starting to look for some new electric trimmers, and Lithely reached out to me and offered to send me this one that's battery operated. I have an electric trimmer already, but it has a cord on it and it really was not conducive to me actually using it. So I plan to get rid of that. And I'm super excited to try out this Lithely trimmer. So this is a Hedge trimmer. It's 20 inches and it looks like it's really great. It has this nice little lithium ion battery that you just pop on after charging it up. And it's got some good safety features right here, this bar to make sure that you don't get in away from the, keep your hands away from the trimmer. And then there's several different ways that you actually have to activate that. So 3 different ways in order to get it to go. So if you let go of any of those areas, it will stop trimming, but they're actually really easy to use. So let's try this out and see how it goes. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try to level out these. And as you trim bushes, if you trim them back hard, they tend to grow back faster. If you trim them back softly, they tend to flush back a little bit less. But at this point, I'm just trying to get these as even as I can because this one's growing a little bit taller than the others. So let's see how we can get this done. This one I'm going to try to really stay away from this dahlia, but if it gets nicked, that's okay. It's got lots of flowers on it, and I don't really have a stake or anything to hold it up. So we're going to finish the top and then we'll start on the sides. I haven't used an electric trimmer a lot in my life, so it was really helpful to me that this came with a booklet and helped to explain that it can also help with the cutting if you hold it at a slight angle into the bush, because that makes sure that it gets really good contact with each branch. Next I'm going to do the back. You'll notice I'm using a sweeping motion back and forth, and that just helps to catch any of the branches that are growing in different directions. Now we're going to come around to the front and try to work on that. And I'm simply going to leave these that are coming over towards the other bush. This is actually my third time trimming these shrubs this season, and hopefully the final time. So I'm trying to round out this shrub right here so that as it connects to those, it's going to be round along the face. And it's definitely going to be a work in progress over some time, but we'll just keep chipping away at it as we go. And I'm going to try to hold these back with my foot. Well, I think if you take a step back just a little bit and take a look at this, you can start to see the gist of the pattern that I'm trying to create here. And it will probably take me another couple of years based on the growth habit that I've seen so far for them to actually connect and really take shape. But I'm really pleased with the progress that I've seen so far. Next up, I'm going to trim these Arborvitaes, and I just started, but what we're going to do is cut it back a little bit more just to give plenty of room for this Diamond Rouge hydrangea that we have growing here. I absolutely love this bush, and eventually it will grow up and out and it will shade some of the Arborvitae, so it will kind of die back anyways, but I just want to make sure that this has plenty of air and space to grow. And all I'm doing there is just kind of feathering the shrub to make it look a little bit less like I'm carving out a spot for it. But again, you can definitely tell that there's space there and that they were growing together. But I think this is going to work out really well. Let's get the other side. Let's see how that looks. I think that looks really good. I'm happy with the way that this came out, and as this flushes out with the blooms, they're going to continue to spread and open up, so it's going to look beautiful. In this bed, I need to trim up this barberry. It's gotten a little bit crazy and wild, so we're just going to take it and trim it into its nice little meatball. So many things in gardening can be about trial and error. So I definitely wanted to try out this barberry with the hedge clippers just because it's really fast and easy. But what I'm finding is that because of the growth habit on this being very, I don't know, wonky, if you will, and having such small leaves, that it's not giving it as crisp of a cut as I would like. So in this instance, I'm definitely going to come back with some hand pruners and just kind of shear it off. So definitely with barberries in the future, I'm just going to use regular hand pruners. I couldn't wait until later, so we're just going to come back in right now and we're going to use these clippers. And I think part of it is because this is all very new growth, so it's very soft wood. And so it was just bending a little bit in the hedge trimmers. So those hedge trimmers are definitely better on sturdy branches that are a little bit thicker. And that's what I will use it on from now on. So you'll see as I do a trimming on this that it cuts off the coloration, but that will come back probably within the next week. It grows back really rather quickly, and the new growth takes on the coloration. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. No job left undone. Now I do have one other arborvitae that I want to trim up. It's a round one, so let's give that one a go. This round arborvitae needs a bit of a haircut. So the reason why it was important to me to give this arborvitae a trim, and I still may trim it back a little bit more, is because I have that beautiful spirea in back there that also needs a little bit more room to grow on and to be able to get light. And I don't want this arborvitae that is so big and round to take up too much space. So I want to keep it about this size and not let it get too much bigger. And this is going to be an awesome way to keep its size in check every year in a really quick way. So I'm all done with this now, and it comes with this really nice little sheath that helps to protect it from the environment. So I'm just going to put that on before I store it. If anybody's interested, Likely was kind enough to provide a code that will give you a discount on this trimmer, and so we'll go ahead and put it right up there for you. And there will also be a link in the description box so that if you're interested, you can purchase it. Again, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just really like the idea of having a nice, easy electric hedge trimmer without a cord, and it's very light and easy to use. So I'm definitely excited to be able to keep using this over the years. I think next year, it's too late right now to use it on my boxwoods, but I want to try it out on those because I have so many of them, and that's quite a big task every year to keep up on the trimming. All right, well, let's get going on these coneflowers. So you can see that these coneflowers have really flapped. They've gotten really heavy because they were very, very tall, and then we had incredibly heavy rain after they were super dry. So they just basically laid down. So what I'm going to be doing here is trying to cut the tops off, see if that will help raise them up a little bit, and it will also give a chance for some of the second flush of blooms to come out. So if you look closely at some of these coneflowers, you will see that there are multiple buds that are happening much lower down on the stem. So we're going to try to give those a chance to get out and flower and be able to perk these up. Let's see what we can do. If this doesn't work out too well, I do have some super fantastic kind of corral type stakes that I can use that I got from Gardener's Supply. So I will make good use of those as needed. And I know this looks horrible that I'm taking all of these blooms off. I will come back and see if there's any that I might be able to throw into a vase and be able to use for flowers. These flowers are amazing in terms of the wildlife that they help to support. I very often see butterflies and bees, and these are definitely a favorite of the birds, especially the goldfinches. They really like the seeds that they produce. This is already looking a little bit better here. It's not going to be perfect. But I definitely prefer not having my flowers lying down on the ground. Whoops. And the other thing is, I'm definitely not complaining about having a heavy rain. That was super fantastic, and without it, everything was just going dry. So I'm really hopeful that all of you out there are starting to get some rain in your areas and get some relief. I really don't want to cut off all of these blooms, so I'm going to leave these down front and see what it looks like, because I just can't from back here. And before I do that though, I'm going to slide over to this other one and we'll see what we can do with this one. Alright, here we go. They definitely are very, very top heavy. But this seems to be working pretty well. I've done this in the past and it's definitely a good trick to use, so you don't have to get rid of all your flowers, but you can still make them look a bit better. I think we're going to get this one last one down here. Well, I'm happy with the way this turned out. It actually is going to be great because it kind of creates a little bit of an airiness, and back behind these coneflowers you'll see there are some limelight hydrangeas that are hanging out just behind them, and they're getting ready to actually bloom. And so I think this will help to provide us with just the right amount of space to be able to see through them and enjoy those little lime hydrangeas. And we are going to be doing a video about hydrangeas and all the different types that I have and how they're doing in different sites in my yard or in my garden or in a pot. And I think that everybody's pretty excited about it based on the feedback I received from everyone. So I'm looking forward to that video as well. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed cleaning up a little bit for the upcoming fall. I definitely have some more to do in the potager garden. I need to clean up some of my squash plants. I'm getting lots of harvest from my tomatoes, and there's just a lot of veggie goodness happening right now. So I'm gonna have to get on that next. But until next time when we talk about hydrangeas, I hope you guys stay well, and we'll see you then. Bye!